Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Griffin. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud. All right, let's get straight to it. I mean, no time like the present, DT. Joining us again on our post-game show. This is week 9 of the post-game show. Nickel City Crew, my co-host, as always, Adam Dump Truck Rupsick. Holla at the crew, man. I mean, listen, man. What did I text you? I texted you? We've got to take our medicine, and we're gonna be men. We're gonna be women. We're gonna be grown-ups here as Bills Mafia, as Nickel City Crew. We're gonna take our medicine. We're gonna talk this thing out real quick. Holla at the crew, DT. What's up, man?
Nickel City, what's up, Rob? What's up? And we come here again on another post game, another divisional loss.
0-2.
Something we didn't deserve to win. Something the Bills did not deserve to win. And we'll unpack that right now. It just doesn't feel good. It has a lot of weird taste, a little maybe juice of Jacksonville last year, where just couldn't get anything going. And as we'll get into a little, in the show, I was surprised on some of the statistics as well, and didn't deserve to win. Didn't deserve to win. Credit to the Jets. I mean, but man, that one stings, Rob. Like, come on, man. Like, there's a lot of games on the schedule we could have went either way on, and this one isn't one of them. So this one stings. Like, come on, man.
Somebody texted me, said, well, you win some, you lose some. I said, not to the fucking Jets. I said,
no,
nope, not to the Jets.
Hell no.
Nope, not to the Jets. Like, I didn't anticipate that.
Not to Zach Wilson. I mean, come on. Like, that was rough to watch, like, out there. Just the agony, the stress, like nothing was going, and just watching them kind of barely put it together and get yards on us. And it's, I don't know.
Let me just try to do my job. Let me try to set the table. So Bills lose in New Jersey, in the Meadowlands, the new Meadowlands at MetLife Stadium, to the New York Jets, 20-17. The Bills fall to 6-2. As you know, the Jets climb to 6-3. They are just a half game back of the Bills now at this point in time because of that win. Listen, it was an awful day, Bills Mafia, Nickel City Crew. It was an awful day to watch this team play. The first play of the game obviously was just all joyous, and as Stephon Diggs, who, again, Nickel City Crew knows that's my favorite Buffalo Bill, as he was just flexing and just and I was like, we are in for a romp. It might be 42-10 by the end of this thing because he was juiced. The play worked perfectly. I mean, we heard all week Sauce Gardner versus Stephon Diggs, and what's the matchup going to look like, and how is it going to shape out, and just a nice, perfect double move. Got the over-aggressive corner to bite, and then literally, DT, it was kind of shit after that. Like, I mean, I'm not exaggerating. It was kind of garbage after that. Now, I just heard Josh Allen's press conference. He explains both picks, and he takes it on the chin. He says the first one to Dawson Knox after that Stephon Diggs play, he claims that, he didn't see the defender, that, it was kind of, he was hugged to the defender. I know that was a really shitty looking pick, DT.
I mean, it was bad.
It was horrible. I don't know what happened on the play. I mean, he says that they fell off.
It had to be
like
it had to be he couldn't see him. It had to be.
That's what he said.
Because if he saw him, I mean, he just gave it up to him. It was ugly. It's uncharacteristic. I mean, granted, 17's always had a few picks in his day, but I mean, come on, like, those were uncharacteristic. Those were unwarranted. Those guys were right there.
What I was trying to figure out was, on the broadcast that we're talking about was, maybe Dawson Knox was supposed to be flat. Was he supposed to stay flat on that play? And that's what Josh was anticipating. But when I heard Josh on his postgame just now on GR, He said that no, it wasn't about him being flat or anything like that. It was the fact that he literally did not see the defender. He was hugged up to the defensive end, and he just didn't see him. Like, that was weird.
Yeah.
And then he explains the second pick as a brain fart. Now, listen, he's Josh Allen. He is a human being. He is not a robot. So when I hear brain fart, I understand, and I'm not trying to get on him. And listen, I'm not that kind of fan. So when those crazy fans call WGR post game and they're talking about fire the OC and all this other shit, and like, listen, I'm not that type of fan. I keep everything measured. I stay in the moment. Listen, DT, that second pick was very reminiscent of last week when you and I were at the Ralph, and when we were watching him too much, and it was like, what are you doing? And you're throwing it flat, and then Sauce is right there. Like, where were you? What were you thinking in respects to that? Now, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that for the last 6 quarters, he has not been sharp. And today's stats show it. 18 of 34, 205 yards, no touchdowns for Josh Allen on the day, passing, 2 interceptions. And then he's got, two rushing touchdowns, which is wonderful, 86 yards on the ground. But like, what were you thinking on that pick, man? Like, what were you doing? Like, I don't know, man. He said brain fart. He's a human, not a cyborg.
It 100% with that, but it's unacceptable. In these divisional
Thank you,
games, you got to get
man.
done. And when you're
Thank you.
going to be the best in the league, it's like these guys you can't be making picks like that. Everybody's good for a couple of those, but 2 in one game in a game you needed it. Man, it stinks to
Wow.
see, and I hope you got to learn from that 1-7. Like, I hope you got to learn from that. But I agree. We're not calling in and going crazy and overreacting. We can put this game on 17 more than anybody, but that's still got faith. That's still QB1 next week. And did he say anything about his arm in that presser, Rob? Because that's the
Yeah, he
real deal.
did.
Like
I
that.
mean, he did. He what he said was that it hurts and that it's got a little bit of pain, but not, nothing else. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't give
Yeah.
much credence to it. So everybody in Bills Nation, you know what I mean? Bills Mafia, Nickel City Crew, we saw him flexing after that strip fumble. I don't really know what happened
Yeah,
in
we
respect to
can,
it,
we
but
can put this we
he's
can
not
put
giving too
this on
much credence to it.
17. We can put this game on 17 because it was. I mean, the defense 20 points, and
Oh
you look
man.
down, and I was expecting to see the statistics a lot more like, wow, we weren't on the field that much, but it was almost 50-50 in possession. It was almost 50-50 in plays. Like, it was an identical stat sheet down the line. It's just the 2 picks of Josh Allen was the difference maker. And, 20 points, you got to beat the Jets when you let up 20 points. And I don't blame the D at all. They could have got off the field a few different times for sure. But I don't blame the defense by any means in this game. It's 17. 17 knows it's his game, and we can sit here, Rob, at Nickel City Crew, and blame this on 17. But
No.
still, it's all good. It's all good. Like, he's gonna be fine. We'll dig that up, and he's got to take that personally. He's got to be healthy. Obviously, that's number one. But we can sit here and say it's 17, but still be fine. Like, we're not panicking on that. But that's unacceptable, and he's got to know that, and I do believe he does know that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he definitely knows that this is on him. You're absolutely right. Sometimes I was thinking earlier, I was like, damn, I'm always mad that me and DT are always agreeing, but like, you are always on point. So like, I have a tough time disagreeing with you. I do not put this loss on the defense. So we're live. Look, if
Yeah.
you want to blame the defense for this loss, then again, as the other day, last Sunday, when we were talking about it, you're not paying attention. The defense last week was not trying to stop the run. That's why Green Bay looked so good in attempting the run, because Leslie Frazier and the defense did not commit that 7th man in the box to stop the run. They were content with Green Bay running out the clock. Today, the defense stood on its head, man. Like we gave them so many possessions. Listen, the possessions were 61 plays to 61 plays. It was dead even. The defense was on the field just as much as the offense was on both sides of the ball. Listen, the defense is not the problem. I have no idea. I'm not calling for Ken Dorsey. I've heard a couple comments on WGR, obviously, who you and I got on for our live tonight, so I didn't get a chance to hear all of the fan reaction, but a couple of people already called it right away saying that they needed something more from the play callers. And then, Sneaky Joe or Nate Gear, whoever's on with Bulldog right now, saying the same thing, that he needs something more from Ken Dorsey. How do you feel about Ken Dorsey today? And just keep it real with me, man. We stay on brand. You tell me, was it a Ken
I think it
Dorsey
was
thing today? Like, I didn't necessarily think it was Ken Dorsey. I thought it was more execution, the plays that were called. How many passes did Gabe Davis drop today?
Yeah,
Like, how many
yeah,
passes
he had
did he drop?
multiple
Now
drops
he made a wonderful play
and
to cut
yeah,
back to the ball on that one on that third down where DJ Reed got hurt and when he got undercut by CJ Mosley. But like Gabe catch like you got to catch the ball, man. I
yeah,
know that
a
some of
few
those catches
drive
are
killers,
more difficult. Catch it.
a few drive killers 100% with that. And how many plays were there on, a little screen or a little dump off to my Singletary and McKenzie where they get and they don't hit the line to gain, and we're in 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and you got to revisit everything when you can just reset the changes and get going. And I think it was a perfect storm of a lot of things. With that, there was a few second down run plays that just, we got to get at that point, you got to give the Josh Allen the ball. Keep, if he's cold, shooters got to shoot, right? If Steph Curry's cold, he ain't not shooting. You know what I mean, Rob?
Right,
So like,
right,
you just
right.
keep giving him the ball, get him into a rhythm. He was out of rhythm the whole game. Get him into a rhythm, get him the ball, and yeah, I think a few times they ran a few times, and those short plays when you're at 3rd and 1, 2nd and 1, when it's just like, come on, like just get the first down and get it rolling. But
No
yeah, there
screen
was some
passes,
miscues.
no
Obviously,
screen
Josh Allen led
passes.
those, and yeah, Gabe with a few drops and.
No
If there's
screen
not a
passes,
holding
DT. No
on
screen passes,
yeah,
DT. I'm talking over you
yeah,
like it was screaming. My screen was screaming to me like, yo, run a screen pass real quick to Dawson Knox on a flare or run one to James Cook or even let Naheem Hines get, a little burn and
yeah.
let him catch one. Like
And they were
run a
bringing the
screen
pressure.
pass. Man.
They were bringing the pressure, so we could have got over the top of that easy, and I agree. And that's the Dolphins did the same thing. They brought the pressure and got 17, off of it a little bit. And that was the same deal. Yeah. Get it moving, get the short game, because that's what they've been doing all year. They've been very patient. Ken Dorsey is good credit to him with that. He's been very patient in kind of taking what's underneath and waiting for the big play and waiting for the big shot. And today it felt very forced. So I think there's blame on a lot of people. 17-1, Dorsey can be up there for sure, but yeah, Gabe Davis takes some blame. The line could have definitely played a lot better. 5 sacks for Allen. And, it's tough day all the way around. Tough day all the way around, Rob.
Yeah, it was a tough day all around. And the way that I look at it, just how as the game was progressing and as the first half was progressing, I was saying to in the back of my head, I was like, you keep messing with these guys and then they'll hang around. And I always obviously thought that we were going to win the game. I never thought that we were going to lose up until the end of the fourth quarter when it's 3rd and 21, 4th and 20. I'm like, yeah, we're probably not going to win this game at this point in time. But like prior to that, I was always waiting for something. I was waiting for the explosion. I was waiting for the just the extra little umph, and I couldn't get it from the offense today. And it was really a disheartening feeling because of the fact that I thought that we were in a position where we understood that, listen, run the ball a little bit when you have to, but on the pass plays that we've got to call up, listen, everything's got to be executed the right way because you're absolutely right, DT. They are scheming us up. They're going to play too high. They are not going to let everything go over the top. They got burned literally on the first play. So after that, they were playing there too high and they were trying to keep everything underneath. The Bills just could not find the seams, whether it was zone or man, it didn't matter. They couldn't find the open spots in this Jets defense. And it carried over all the way to the fourth quarter, DT, where it was just out of rhythm, man. Like Josh Allen, his stats were shitty today, like 18 to
Yeah.
34,
They got out coached.
205 yards, 2 picks.
Too. They got out
Speak on
coached,
it.
Rob.
Speak on it.
Yeah. I mean, I think they, the Jets ran their game plan to a T. As you texted me earlier, they ran their game plan to a T. They worked that clock down with those long
Yes.
passing drives. Bills catch a break and get the fumble and then give it right back. And those were
Hyde
big. Those were
Wilson.
game breaths. They were
Mm-hmm.
breaths out of the game.
Yep.
Yeah, breaths out of the
174
game, and
yards
and
on
it
the
was tough for
ground
the
for
Bills
the
to
Jets today.
recover from those. And yeah, when it was like, damn, it took the whole third quarter that long drive, and then the Bills when they pinned them again in the fourth to take them all the way down, they ran the clock out. They were great in clock management, and I don't know on that one pick, the Edmonds
Mm-hmm.
pick, is that challengeable? Does McDermott challenge that? Like I thought we could have, at least looked at that. It looked like he had that easily coming down. It was in his right arm, and the receiver was over on the left side. So I don't know, like stuff like that is crucial to the game and whatnot. But when it comes down, you got to play a perfect game to beat this Bills team, and they did that. And for the most part, the credit to the Jets for that and being out coached in that regard. I think.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk, I mean, I'm not sure about that one. I would always lean towards the guys up there in the booth that this his coaches that obviously they saw maybe an angle where they thought that it wouldn't have been overturned. But more speaking to your point, like I'm more concerned with the fact of like you said, out coach, like adjustments need to be made. So whether that's Ken Dorsey, whether that's him and the entire offensive staff, Joe Brady, whether it's, even Sean McDermott giving his input, I don't know how it all works there at One Bills Drive. What I know is that I didn't see the adjustments in respects to the fact that Stephon Diggs went quiet. He was eating in the first half. So how do you
Mhm.
go from eating in the first half and you're getting everything that you want spoon fed, and then all of a sudden you just go quiet in the second half? I don't like those types of trends. Like that
Yeah.
speaks to me that like you
And
guys are missing
that's old
something
Bill
is missing.
style, right? That's old Bill style, right? Like that shit would happen all the time, and not
Yeah,
saying that we're any close to that old Bills by any means, but that's the shit we would be,
yeah,
pissed off about listening to GR on the way home. Like
yeah.
that's the BS you can't do, especially in a game where the Jets are trying to feel themselves a little bit and you go in and stumble like that. Like, come on. Like those are the crucial nails in the coffin. And it sucks, man. It sucks for real because this team didn't need that. Like, but it's gotta be what it is. It's the NFL going into, a big game next week. But I just it's game the adjustments, and they usually are decent at making those adjustments, and
Yeah.
seeing just that one drive from that offense we needed, and we just couldn't get it. It was tough.
Couldn't get it all day long. It was very frustrating. And it was funny that you mentioned the Jacksonville Jaguars game from last year. And even though it wasn't 9-6, the offense puts up 17 points. It was very
Yeah, might as
eerily
well have been. Might as
similar,
well have
man. It
been.
might as well
Yeah,
have been the same thing. It's a 3-point
yeah.
loss to a team that you had no business losing to, where the defense literally did what they had to do. And again, I'm not blaming the defense for this loss. Now, you look at the stats: 174 yards for the Jets on the ground. You would say, well, I know I'm going to hear tomorrow on GRDT, and you are as well, that, well, what's wrong with the run defense? And what's wrong with the run defense? And what's wrong with the run defense? We're going to hear that all week from fans across Western New York and across Bills Mafia. I'm not as concerned about some of the gash plays. They average 5 yards a carry. I understand that on the ground. It's the fact that they had to literally hide their quarterback. So what the onus then shifts back to the offense. It's on the offense to make sure that you guys score more points because of the fact that the possessions are going to be limited. I watched one of the times when they first punted in the find a way to shorten this game. They're going to try to find a way to shorten and make sure that we don't get and limit possessions. And it was just a shitty way to kind of follow up and see the offense kind of just struggle all day, because you could see the Jets game plan coming to fruition as the game started to go along. We're going to run the ball. We're going to hide Zach Wilson. We're not going to put him in too many situations where he can make a mistake. And we're going to put it on you to be perfect on your possessions. And the Bills today, quite honestly, on offense, they just were off, man, all day.
Oh, there's no flow to any of their drives. Even the drives they had that kind of got started, they started in good field position, so they never had one of those trademark long drives that they're starting to get known for. And the slowness also came to, that's what teams are going to do. There's nobody that can then run and gun with this offense when it's at its highest pedigree. So they know they got to keep 17 off the field, and 100% great game plan today from the Jets as they go back to the coaching and taking taking away, 17 and being the dominant force and the playmaker to win. Somebody else had to step up today, and that's a tough ask, against a team on the Jets that everybody seemed to be doing their 111th and doing their part to get it
Right.
done. It wasn't pretty, but it was exactly what they needed to do to beat the Bills. And
They played perfect. They played perfect for
it
that
just
game
stinks
plan.
the
If
Bills
you want
couldn't
to beat a
overcome it because
high
even with
octane
all
offense.
that, even with all
Mhm.
that, they were right there. Yeah, even with all that, it took a 30-yard strike that was, that could have been there, that was there, that it's plenty of things that coulda, shoulda, wouldas, and then right down to the stretch, still in it with the quarterback, with a drive to win the game. That's where you want it, right? But yeah, well, we'll take it. We got to take that.
I was just about to say we don't have any damn choice. We have to eat the medicine on this one. We've got to take it. It's disappointing to see the team, kind of show up like this. But as I've always spoke about before the season, there was going to be, losses like this. It was funny. A friend of mine asked me earlier this week, and she was like, "Well, who are the Bills going to lose to this year?" in a dumb way. And I'm like, well, I don't even know how to answer that. I'm like, I don't know. Like, we're not gonna go. I was like, we're not gonna go, 16-1. I know that. So maybe it's, Detroit, and everybody's distracted on the road, and it's Thanksgiving, and they've got the, everybody, the family and stuff like. I'm like, I don't have a clue. I promise you, I did not have today as a loss, TT. I did. I said it. We said
No.
it. I couldn't even, I couldn't envision. What we would have been able to envision would have been exactly this today. A perfect game plan of just running the ball and keeping the ball out of Josh Allen's hands, limiting possessions, and then just literally striking while the iron was hot. And you needed this offense to be off today, and they got it, man. The offense was just off today. It was really, really disheartening to watch. As we shift around the league, I mean, all is not lost. The sky is not falling as we begin to wrap up. We do understand that we are at 6-2. We are still leading the division. Again, a half game up on the Jets. 0-2 in the division. DT. That is that could be problematic. Like, you'll need
Gotta
4
win.
now. You'll need
You
4,
need
right?
4.
We'll
You'll
need
need
4 and
4.
2 if
Yeah.
you're trying to get the number 1 seed. You'll
Yeah.
need the rest of these division games to go your way. 0-2 in the division, that's kind of a sour taste, to be honest, and we
Well,
won't have a
yeah.
chance to
And
rectify it until December
three
1st.
three of those, but 3 of those 4 at home. 3 of those 4 at home.
Yep. Mhm.
So we can't get
The next
too
one on the road, though,
overreacting.
December
3 of those
1st,
4
next
coming
one on
up,
the
and
road,
yep, true. But
Thursday night.
that just
Mhm.
adds to what this team needs to do. That the goal is still the Super Bowl and the number 1 seed, and number 1 seed at first. So you got to get these divisional games, and we said that in Miami. Now we say this here, but then we
Oh,
come back and face a lot of adversity and win some good games in between those 2 losses. So
yeah.
I hope this trend. Obviously, they now win some good games. Hope not ever again another one, but before the next one, let's win some good games in between. So I don't know. This
I
one
know.
hurts more than the Dolphins. Dolphins
Oh,
stunk
God,
because
yeah.
that was it was
An
hot.
act of God.
It was
It
and it
was
was
an act
just
of God.
and we
It
were
was an
like
act of
that was
God.
like, are we going to beat everybody by 40 this year every game? Like that was the vibe we had. And then all right, we lose, and then come back, win, some nice wins, and this one just like come on, like it just like come on, no excuse other than just getting beat out there, getting beat
No,
like
man, you got beat today, and that is not an act of God. It was funny because before that, I was at the barbershop, and they were talking junk a couple weeks ago, and they were to be the Eagles, couple Eagles fans in there, and some Niners fans in there, and some Cowboys fans. They're always around, and some Pittsburgh Steelers fans. And I was like, listen, we only lost because to be an act of God. We only lost, like, we are undefeated. God beat us, and He is 1-0 against the Bills. And everybody was
you
laughing. They got a kick out of that one. But like, truthfully, today was literally you got beat today. The better team
yeah
won today, regardless of what you want to say about the Jets, regardless of what you think of Zach Wilson. It does come down to coaching. They hid him. They did not let him make mistakes. They did not expose him to making mistakes too many times. And they won this game. They had the perfect game plan. The next couple of weeks for the Bills, as we look at the schedule, DT, before we take a look around the league, before we close up, obviously, again, I will see you unless I go to the Ivory Coast. There's a good chance that I'm going to Africa real soon, probably next Saturday. If that's the case, then I'm out. If not, and it gets pushed back anytime, I will see you as the Bills host the 7-1 Minnesota Vikings, DT, in the Ralph, at the Ralph. I mean, they won today 20-17. They had a scratch tough game as well, where they had to show grit, and they came out on top. They're 7-1. Thereafter, we host the Cleveland Browns again at home, and then we go on the road, as we talked about earlier, Turkey Day in Detroit, 12:30 kickoff on Turkey Day to kind of lead off that triple header slate, where you've got the Cowboys are always on at the afternoon game at 4 o'clock. The Lions are always on in the morning in that early afternoon game at 12:30, and then obviously we've got a night game that they've just added. So the Bills will play the Lions, and then finishing up the next 4 stretch. Then you'll go on the road again to the Patriots for the first time this year, December 1st, on that first little Amazon Prime Thursday night game. So those are the next 4 games coming up for the Bills. Talk to me about, before we take a look around the league, how do you feel as we get ready and we approach, whether we see each other or not, for this next game for the Vikings? It's a big one. You've got one of the NFC's powers coming in. I mean, it's the Eagles, it's them, it's the Niners. I mean, it's not too many teams in the NFC that have kind of separated themselves as we get ready to take a look around the league. What do you think about the Vikings coming into this game. I know we're not getting ready to break it down. We will do that this week on Tuesday or Wednesday. But I mean, what are your initial thoughts, man?
Huge game, and should be 7-1 versus 7-1, but it's not. And you'll see that. And the Vikings have their own stuff to prove, and they're working for that number one seed with the Eagles still undefeated and an easy schedule in front of the Eagles. So Vikings, I think, are going to
Right.
be coming strong, and they have the capability, as well as the Browns a week after them, of doing what the Jets the game, keeping the ball, keeping Josh Allen off the field as much as possible, and they got some playmakers. So ain't no slouch team coming in. Jefferson's just is up there with the best of them in the receiving core.
Hmm.
We'll see if
Hmm.
Trey White comes back, but they have the
Yeah, I
ability
expect that.
to. Hopefully, this isn't the potion, to take down 17 of the boys, is to elongate the games. That's, I think, what everyone's always tried to do, and it worked today against the Jets. And next week, they could try to do the same.
Yeah, no, and the only credence I will give, again, I'm not blaming this game on the defense. The only credence I will give to that is that if that is the game plan that you choose to employ, then obviously, you'll need to run the ball well. You'll need to have success running the ball if you're going to try to get that game plan to work. Today, the Jets did. Last week, the Packers, ran out of time because of the fact that they didn't have enough points prior to starting that game plan. They ran the ball the entire game, but they just ran out of time. The Jets today, from the beginning of the game, were committed to the run. They were able to run it a little bit, and they got key plays. So again, I'm not putting this game on the defense whatsoever, because we should have put up 30 or 35 easily on this team and on this defense, especially the way the game started, which was just a total tease because of the fact that we started the game literally with a bomb, literally burning their number one corner, literally just kind of just, oh, I was like, oh, and Steph was just first play. And I was like, man, let's go get it. Let's hang 42 on these boys. It did not work out that way. So as we look around the league, as we wrap up, the Chargers win today over the Falcons 20-17. The Dolphins in a barn burner with the Bears, excuse me. That was a really weird game. I did not expect Justin Fields to play that well, but he really did. And Tua had to kind of scrape it out. They win 35-32, so they stay on the Bills' heels. The Bengals come out with a 42-21 win over the Carolina Panthers at home. Joe Burrow kind of getting his thing back together, even out without Jamar Chase. The Lions with the upset. Somebody said, should I pick the Packers today to get back on track? I said, stay away from that game. 15-9. What an ugly game. Everything is crumbling for the Green Bay Packers over there in the NFC North, DT. The Patriots, a resounding win over the Colts, 26-3. Again, we already talked about the Vikings winning 20-17 over the Commanders. They will come to Buffalo next week. The Jaguars have a dramatic come from behind win over the what's it called? The Las Vegas Raiders, DT. That was a crazy game. Wait till you watch the highlights on that one with the comeback win. And then we've got Titans and Chiefs tonight, 8:20. Bills fans, Bills Mafia, Nickel City Crew, root for the Titans. I don't need to explain anything other than that. Root for the Titans tonight. We need the Chiefs to kind of stay at bay, regardless of that head-to-head win. Today, what stands out to you today, man?
It's a competitive league and a competitive division at that. Both teams, all three teams won in the division today, and the one team that didn't was the Buffalo Bills, and you can't say that too often. So,
No,
that's
no, no.
that's what it is. And some other big AFC games, if the Chiefs take care of the Titans tonight, they're right up there and tied with the same record now. So it's a league, man. We always knew this. We got to get the wins coming up, and a big opportunity against a really good team next week to kind of put this all behind us. And well, man, rains or pours, it feels like the Bills lose, my fantasy teams lose, and man,
Yeah,
it's gonna be a dark. I might be shutting off phone and football until 8:30 at least tonight. Take a break on the 4 o'clock games, and
yeah,
just get back into it for the Chiefs Titans later. But yeah,
yeah.
just one of
I've
those.
got I've got my baby Quincy here tonight. I normally don't have my Kings on Sundays, but I've got him tonight, and he has been very good. His older brother Bobby is still with me tonight, so he has not bursted in. I thought somebody was going to burst right in on this live, and he is not. So listen, I'm with you on that. I think I'm getting ready to chill with him for the next 3 hours and just shut football off for a little
Yeah,
bit, and then
we don't need it. There's
yeah, I
nothing
don't
we're
think I
gonna
need
gain
any
from
more
it.
debate. No,
Nothing we're
nothing
gonna
I need
gain
to.
from
I
it.
don't need to watch anything right now. I don't need to kind of consume any football. I just need to kind of let this thing digest. Again, our nightmare in respects to the Jacksonville game from last year comes true. The Bills fall to the New York Jets 20-17 at MetLife Stadium on the road. Please check us out again. We will record as always on this Wednesday. We release on Thursday. We kind of switched it up because of these post-game shows that we didn't want to kind of sound redundant by coming in our normal release slot on Tuesday. So we will get right back at it Wednesday night. We'll release for you guys Thursday morning. Can't wait. We'll break down the Vikings. Bills Vikings, we do expect Trey White to be back. I mean, I actually think that the clock is kind of coming up on him, so he's kind of got to be back. He's activated on the active roster now. We made moves and different things like that. Brandon B did to kind of make space for him. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about next week's game, regardless. Again, I will have a report for you, DT, if we'll have a chance to tailgate or not. By Thursday, I will have a report on if I'm going to the Ivory Coast this week or later in November. So listen, man, until then, until we meet again, man, hit them with the Go Bills, man. As always, these were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Please spread love, not hate. I know you're going through Bills Mafia. I know you're going through Nickel City Crew. Just everybody woos out tonight. We'll relax. We were never going 16-1. Probably not going 15-2, and it is okay. The number one seed is still in sight, but we can't have too many more clunkers like today. Hit him with the Go Bills, DT.
You're right. You're right. Man. Can't have any more, but Go Bills.
No, not many more. You might be able to get away with one more clunker, but that might be it if you want everybody to come through Orchard Park.
Go Bills. We're good. Go Bills.
He just said it. DC said, "Fuck it, go Bills."